Hello and welcome back to the English Listening Lab. I am your host, Johan. I am very happy that you are here with me today. Today we have a very special episode. We are going to listen to a story that is very important. The title of our story is It Is Never Too Late to Learn English. This story will help you improve your listening skills. It will also help you feel good about learning. Before we start the story, please remember to support this channel. Please click the subscribe button right now. When you subscribe, you help us make more free lessons for you. It is very easy to subscribe. Just click the button. Now, are you ready to listen? Let us begin our story today. Once upon a time, there was a man named Arthur. Arthur was 70 years old. He lived in a small and quiet town. Arthur had white hair and a kind face. He lived alone in a small house with a beautiful garden. Every day, Arthur did the same things. He woke up early in the morning. He drank his hot coffee. He read the local newspaper. He watered his red and yellow flowers in the garden. Arthur was a happy man, but he had one big regret. He did not speak English. When he was young, he did not learn English at school. He thought that English was too difficult. Now he was 70 years old. He often sat in his chair and thought about this. He thought, I am too old now. My brain is slow. I cannot learn a new language. He believed that learning was only for young children and students. One sunny morning, the postman came to Arthur's house. The postman gave Arthur a letter. The letter had a colorful stamp on it. It was from a country far away. It was from the United States of America. Arthur opened the letter with shaking hands. The letter was from his son, David. David lived in New York City. David wrote good news in the letter. He wrote, Dear Father, I have a surprise. You are a grandfather now. You have a little granddaughter. Her name is Lily. Please come to New York to meet her. Arthur was very happy. He smiled a big smile. Tears of joy came to his eyes. But then he felt scared. His son spoke his language, but his granddaughter would grow up speaking English. Arthur wanted to talk to Lily. He wanted to tell her stories. He wanted to be a good grandfather. But he did not know any English words. Arthur sat at his kitchen table for a long time. He looked at the letter again and again. He felt a mix of joy and fear. He wanted to go to New York, but he was afraid of the language. How could he travel? How could he order food? How could he speak to his new granddaughter? He thought about staying home. It was safe at home. But his love for his family was very strong. He made a big decision that day. He stood up from his chair. He said to himself, I will learn English. I do not care if I am 70 years old. I will do it for Lily. This was the first step. The first step is always the hardest step. Arthur felt a new energy in his body. He was ready to try. He put on his coat and his hat. He walked out of his door and went into the town. Arthur walked to the public library in the center of the town. The library was a big building with many books. He walked inside quietly. He saw many shelves full of books. He felt a little nervous. He walked to the librarian. The librarian was a nice woman with glasses. Arthur asked her, "Do you have books for learning English?" The librarian smiled at him. She said, "Yes, we have many books. Follow me, please." She showed him a shelf with beginner books. The books had pictures and simple words. Arthur looked at the books. He felt shy. Usually, children use these books. But he took a deep breath. He picked up a book with a blue cover. It said English for Beginners. He also took a dictionary. He checked out the books and walked home. He held the books tightly in his hands, like a treasure. That evening, Arthur started his first study session. He sat at his desk with a bright lamp. He opened the blue book to page 1. The first lesson was very simple. It was about greetings. He read the words, "Hello, good morning, how are you?" Arthur read the words silently. Then he tried to say them out loud. "Hello," he said. It sounded strange to his ears. He tried again. "Hello, good morning." He repeated the words many times. His mouth felt funny. The sounds were different from his own language. He practiced for 1 hour. After 1 hour, he was very tired. His head hurt a little bit. He thought, "This is very hard. Maybe I am too old." But then he looked at the photo of his son. He remembered baby Lily. He closed the book, but he promised to open it again the next day. He went to sleep with English words in his head. The next few weeks were a challenge for Arthur. Every day he studied for 2 hours. He studied in the morning after breakfast. He studied in the evening after dinner. He started to learn the names of objects in his house. He took small pieces of paper. He wrote English words on the paper. He put the paper on things in his house. He put a paper that said table on his table. He put a paper that said chair on his chair. He put a paper that said door on his door. His house looked very funny. It was full of white papers. But this helped Arthur remember the words. Every time he opened the door, he said door. Every time he sat down, he said chair. He was living with the English language. He was making his own English world inside his small house. One day, Arthur decided he needed more help. Books were good, but he needed to hear the language. He went to the electronics store in town. He bought a small radio. He asked the man at the store how to find English stations. The man helped him. Arthur went home and turned on the radio. He listened to an English news program. The people on the radio spoke very fast. Arthur could not understand anything. It sounded like noise. He felt frustrated. He wanted to turn it off, but he remembered his goal. He kept the radio on. He listened to the sounds. He listened to the rhythm of the language. Slowly, he started to hear separate words. He heard good and today and thank you. Catching these small words made him feel proud. He realized that listening takes time. He needed to be patient with his ears. Arthur also wanted to practice speaking with a real person. He knew a cafe in town where tourists went. He went to the cafe on a Tuesday morning. He ordered a tea. He saw a young couple sitting at a table. They were speaking English. Arthur was very nervous. His heart beat fast. Boom, boom, boom. He stood up and walked to their table. He said, "Hello, good morning." The couple looked at him and smiled. They said, "Good morning." Arthur was so happy they understood him. He pointed to the empty chair and asked, "May I sit?" They said, "Yes, please." Arthur sat down. He used his simple words. He said, "My name is Arthur. I learn English." The couple was very kind. They spoke slowly for him. They told him they were from Canada. Arthur understood some words and guessed other words. It was his first real conversation. After that day at the cafe, Arthur felt more brave. He went to the cafe every week. He met different people. Sometimes he made mistakes. One day he wanted to say he was hungry, but he used the wrong word. The people laughed, but they laughed in a nice way. Arthur laughed too. He learned that mistakes are not bad. Mistakes are part of learning. If you do not make mistakes, you do not learn. He stopped being afraid of being wrong. He carried his small dictionary in his pocket everywhere. When he did not know a word, he looked in the dictionary. He learned words about the weather. He learned words about food. He learned words about travel. His vocabulary became bigger every day. His brain felt active and young again. He felt like a student. He enjoyed the process of learning new things. 6 months passed quickly. Arthur was much better at English now. He could read simple stories. He could understand the radio if they spoke slowly. He could have short conversations. It was time to book his ticket to New York. He went to the travel agency. The travel agent spoke his language, but Arthur wanted to practice. He asked, "Can I speak English with you?" The agent was surprised, but said yes. Arthur said, "I want to go to New York. I want 1 ticket for next month." He spoke slowly and clearly. The agent understood him perfectly. She booked his flight. Arthur paid for the ticket. He walked out of the travel agency feeling like a champion. He had done it. He used English to buy a ticket to see his family. The dream was becoming real. The day of the trip arrived. Arthur packed his suitcase. He put his clothes, his gifts for Lily, and his English book in the suitcase. He took a taxi to the airport. The airport was very big and busy. There were people from all over the world. Arthur looked at the signs. The signs were in English. He read departures and gate and check-in. He understood the signs. He did not feel lost. He went to the check-in desk. The lady asked him for his passport in English. Arthur gave her the passport and said, "Here you are." He felt calm. He walked through security. He found his gate. He sat down and waited for the plane. He looked around at the other passengers. He felt connected to the world. Learning English had opened a door for him. The flight was very long. It took 8 hours to fly to New York. Arthur sat next to a young man. The young man was American. Arthur decided to talk to him. He said, "Hello, I go to New York to see my granddaughter." The young man smiled and said, "That is wonderful. Is it your first time in New York?" Arthur said, "Yes, first time." They talked for a long time. They talked about food, family, and travel. Arthur did not understand every word, but he understood the main ideas. The young man helped him with some words. The 8 hours passed quickly. When the plane landed, the young man said, "Your English is very good, Arthur." Arthur felt very proud. He thanked the young man. He was ready to enter the United States. Arthur walked out of the plane and into the airport in New York. It was very noisy. Everyone was speaking English. He went to the immigration officer. The officer was a serious man. He asked Arthur, "Why are you here?" Arthur took a deep breath. He said, "I am here to visit my son and my granddaughter." The officer stamped his passport and said, "Welcome to America." Arthur walked through the doors. He looked for his son. He saw many people waiting. Then he saw David. David was holding a baby. It was Lily. Arthur ran to them. He hugged his son. He looked at the beautiful baby. David said, "Welcome, Dad." Arthur looked at Lily. He touched her small hand. He smiled and said in English, "Hello, Lily. I am your grandfather. I am happy to meet you." David was very surprised. He looked at his father with wide eyes. He said, "Dad, you speak English?" Arthur smiled and nodded. He said, "Yes, I learned for Lily." David started to cry happy tears. He hugged his father again. He said, "I am so proud of you, Dad. That is amazing." They walked to the car together. In the car, Arthur talked to his son in English. He told him about the library. He told him about the labels on the furniture. He told him about the people in the cafe. David listened and laughed. He was so happy that his father made such a big effort. It showed how much Arthur loved them. A language barrier was gone. Now they could share their lives completely. Arthur stayed in New York for 1 month. It was the best month of his life. Every day, he played with Lily. He read English books to her. The books were simple, like The Cat in the Hat. Arthur read the words, and Lily smiled. He told her, "Look, this is a cat. This is a hat." He was teaching her, and he was practicing too. He went to the park with David and Lily. He spoke to other people in the park. He ordered coffee and bagels in the shops. He felt confident. He felt young. He realized that age does not matter. If you have a strong reason, you can do anything. His reason was love, and love gave him the power to learn. When it was time to go back home, Arthur was sad to leave, but he was also happy. He had completed his mission. He said goodbye to David and Lily. He promised to come back next year. He promised to learn more English. He wanted to be even better next time. On the plane ride home, Arthur did not sleep. He took out his notebook. He wrote down new words he learned in New York. He wrote skyscraper, subway, bagel, and family. He was excited to go back to his quiet town. He wanted to tell the librarian about his trip. He wanted to tell the people in the cafe about New York. He had so many stories to tell, and now he could tell them in 2 languages. So, my dear friends, what can we learn from Arthur? We learn that it is never too late. Arthur was 70 years old. He was afraid. He knew 0 English, but he started. He took small steps. He practiced every day. He was not afraid to make mistakes, and he succeeded. You can do this too. Maybe you are young, or maybe you are old. It doesn't matter. If you want to learn English, you can. Do not say, "I cannot." Say, "I will." Find your reason. Maybe it's for a job. Maybe it's for travel. Maybe it is just for you. Start today. Read 1 page. Learn 1 word. Listen to 1 story. Like Arthur, you can open a new door to the world. Thank you for listening to this story on English Listening Lab. I hope Arthur's story helps you. I hope you feel strong and ready to learn. Remember, every expert was once a beginner. Do not give up. If you liked this story, please subscribe to our channel. Share this video with your friends who are learning English. Leave a comment below. Tell me, why do you want to learn English? I want to read your answers. Thank you for your time today. Keep practicing, keep listening, and I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye.